Hi everyone. A good service always comes with a feedback form after the project. It does allow you to find spots where the service might be improved or needs attention. However, if you have tens or hundreds of clients, turning customer feedback surveys into meaningful insights can take quite some time. In this video, I'll show you how AI can analyze the feedback for you, turning long feedback forms into ready-to-present slides for the client or the management. And stick around because I will show you how you can use this automation for any documents you would need to prepare for clients or the administration on a repetitive basis. After this video, you should know how you can automate any manual work that needs to be done from any drafty documents that you have, be it a presentation or a write-up in a Word. And again, doesn't worth the time for one client, but if this is something you would often do, think about long-term benefits. Let's see what I'm talking about. So imagine a company that just provided a service or sold a product and they want to send a feedback form to their customers to actually see what was good and what was bad. So here we have an example of a feedback form where the customers would rate the product, answer what did they like about the product the most and what they would like to improve. So you send out the form to, let's say, 10 customers or 10 respondents, and you gather the feedback, and the feedback looks like this. So some customers rated it as 3, some at 5, 2 customers rated it at 7, etc. So you would want to kind of make sort of summary and see what's the average score for your product, for the customers or the service. Here you have what did you like about the product. So customers left different reviews, what did they like and what they didn't like. Okay, so different reviews. And then you've got a presentation that you would be presenting to either your client or the management. And here you would go, what did you like about the product the most? And out of 10 responses that you've gathered from the feedback form, you will need to sort of provide key insights. Those probably not going to be just 10 answers, but you're going to read through them and find what are the key insights, what people liked about the product the most, and for the next slide, what they're complaining about, etc. So, and you will provide the output here. Same goes to the second question and to the third question. The average rating of the product is this much, so you would probably calculate the average out of all the responses that you got, and you would also provide it with the number of respondents that have completed the survey. So we've gathered all the responses, and let's just, instead of us reading every single response and trying to kind of get the key insights, let's ask AI to actually do that for us, and let's run it and see how that works and how much time does it take. So we can see it actually gathered all the information, it analyzed it, and now it creates a slide. In a few seconds, we should be able to see a new feedback presentation appeared in a separate folder that you would specify. And here how it works. So feedback presentation, it will have AI company instead of the company name. Here we go, what did you like about the product the most? And it goes with user-friendly design, durable, high-quality construction. So it provided just 5 bullet points. Out of 10 different responses, it's summarized into 5 bullet points. If we go, what would you like to improve? It provides kind of 3 key insights here. And then we go to how would you rate the product? The average rating was 7.29 out of 15 participants shared their opinion. Essentially, your feedback presentation is ready and it's totally automatic. You don't need to do anything. You pretty much can get and send it to your client or your management. So it can be automated, especially if you have any other drafty documents that you use to prepare either client reviews, presentations, emails, or cooperation offers. If you make them from draft, you can pretty much automate these things. And that's actually pretty cool. That saves a lot of time. If this probably wouldn't take more time to do for one client, but think about if you have like 10, 20, 30 clients per month that you would need to send out the survey form and then analyze the feedback. That takes a lot of time. Why would you need to do this if AI can do that for you? So that's pretty cool. And let's actually see how that technically works. And it's pretty simple build. So the first thing you already know, this is the Google form that we have. So we basically connect to Google form and it drafts all the information from the respondents. And here we have 3 different rows. And what actually does, why we have 3 different rows? Because we have 3 different questions essentially. So the first question would be, what did you like about the product the most? And this module actually aggregates all the responses in one simple bundled text, because this text will be passed to our AI model to actually analyze and find what are the key patterns and trends, what are the insights, etc. And as I say, the build is very, very simple. So we go with the next module, which is in my case GPT-4o Mini, and I give it sort of a smaller prompt, system prompt, saying, hey, you'll be provided with survey responses on this particular question. What did you like about the product? And your task is basically identifying key insights from all the different reviews that you will get. And the next message is basically users sending the user reviews for that particular question. And then what we do is we basically save that response that we get. So the ChatGPT in our case will output a summary bundle in a bullet point format for us, and we will save that response as a variable, because later on here we'll need to extract that variable back. And that's why these two models will be actually saving the responses for question 1 and question 2. So the second line pretty much gets exactly the same structure. The only difference is it asks what would you like to improve instead of what did you like the most about the product. And then we go with another GPT engine here, or AI assistant, that has like almost the same prompt, just we say there is another question that you will need to find patterns for, and this is what would you like to improve. And then again, we save that response to our another variable, which is called question 2 response, because we're gonna extract it in the third row. And the third row here is basically a little bit different, just because for the third question, what we are actually getting, we're getting different numbers, right? And if we go here and see how would you rate the product, the answer that we get will be a single number. So one client will say 9, the other client will say 7, the third client will say 3. So we will need to calculate the average, and we could actually sort of use the numeric aggregator here to calculate it straight away, because what this actor does, it gets all the answers that are provided as numbers and calculates the average for it. However, if we would do just this one, we will not be able to calculate the number of respondents, and that's why I add here another aggregator that will just simply calculate how many bundles we have passed through this operation. In our case, it's going to be 10, and then we set another iterator to iterate over each single bundle and aggregate the answers to numeric aggregator and calculate the average. So essentially what it does, it passes all those numbers to our numeric aggregator and just calculates the average. And that's how we get the number 7.2. And here, this is how we get the number 10 respondents. Because in our presentation here, we'll need to be using just those two numbers. And this is just to show you that it's not only with the text answers that you can be working on, it is also with different numbers. And what is important here, you don't need AI for the numbers essentially, right? So you would do that just with a simple average function. And this is very important. You don't need to put AI in every single thing. Somewhere, it's just easier doing with inline functions. And here we just simply extract all the two answers that were here, just because they are not in kind of sort of one line. We need to extract those variables because they will work as it's shown here. This is going to go first, this is going to go second, this is going to go third, and that's why here we will already have those two variables saved. And basically the last module is simply saving the presentation, and we're actually showing what is our draft presentation ID. So before you're actually going to do this automation, you need to have a draft of the presentation. And one important thing to work with slides in Make.com is whenever you want to insert a specific text, like for example here, question 1 response, I need to have my sample presentation looking like this. So whenever on the slide, it will find the name of the variable, and it should be in double curly brackets here, like this. It will identify this text as a variable, and that's why here in my scenario, for example, I have client name. So it searches for any text in double curly brackets like we see right here, with the client name tag in it. And whenever it finds it, it replaces with the certain name that we provide here. And same goes with question 1 response, right? So the question 1 response was provided by ChatGPT here. It was saved into a variable. Here I extract back this variable because it was saved here, and I output this variable as a response. And here we can see kind of a summary of all the reviews that were saying what did you like the most about the product. So in my presentation, of course, on the second slide, right, I have all these 5 answers, but in my sample deck, I will have question 1 responses. This is basically the place to show where we want the response to appear. What is very important here, though, is the amount of text you're going to provide. And sometimes you would actually want to specify the length of your response. Either it's going to be like 5 bullet points, like in my case, or it's going to be like 300 symbols, etc. Why is that so? Because it does not format the spacing, it doesn't format the font size, the font itself for you. So essentially what you need to understand, whenever you say, I need to paste text right here, you would need to make sure that you have enough space there, because if the text is going to be longer, you will need to come back and adjust the formatting yourself. If you wanted it to be a certain size, you need to make sure it doesn't actually go over the limit. And that's why you need to be doing like a little bit of testing here. in there just to make sure you kind of have your output fit the size. And this is basically the biggest challenge with the presentation specifically, because if you have longer words, they might exceed the limit of the space that you have provided for the answer. That's the only thing I might think about. Otherwise, it's pretty nice and neat how you can automate those things, and you can put question to response in here instead of writing like numbers or yourself going to the feedback form, gathering all those numbers and trying to calculate average yourself. You would simply just output question 3 response and it will calculate for you automatically. So yeah, I find it pretty cool, especially when you need to prepare different cooperation offers, different documents, feedback review presentations, and many more things that are actually standardized for your company. You will probably have your company branding, your company, slides and designs and all that, but most of that part can be automated. And when we think about long term, when we think about doing this on a daily basis for our clients, that's actually accumulates to a lot of time. And we might be better focusing on something else or approaching new potential leads or new potential clients instead of just doing some repetitive things that can easily be automated with AI. To recap, we explored how AI can supercharge your feedback analysis process, saving you time by automating survey review process, identifying trends, and delivering actionable insights. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more tips in leveraging AI for your business. And I'd love to hear from you. Do you think you can use this automation idea for any other documents that you might have? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. And just before you go, check out my video on how AI can analyze Google reviews for you. It is useful to save time on a daily basis, especially when traveling. And thank you for watching. And remember, AI is not just a tool, it's your partner in solving the toughest problem. See you in the next video.